What's going on, guys? Welcome to part 10 of this bubble tutorial. In this video, we're going to talk about how to add new items to the database. So I'm going to show you how to create a new property listing from our dashboard page that we created in a few videos ago. And we're going to be able to assign that to a particular user and be able to read that from the database. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So we're going to head over to the dashboard page. And the dashboard page just lists some of our properties. So as you can see here, so we're still missing the image on the thumbnail. So I'm just going to tidy this up really fast. So we can go over to the dashboard page by going to pages, dashboard, and let's add some thumbnail images. I forgot to add that the last time. So we want to do shape. I'm going to add a shape, and then we're going to add a background image to the shape. And we're using a shape, just as a reminder, we're using a shape instead of a regular image element because some images don't fit the dimensions. So with a shape, we can set the specified dimensions that we want and have the image just cover the full background. So now that we have that shape, let's go ahead. We can rename this to listing card thumbnail. And we just go to background style. We can set it to image. And we click dynamic image. Since this isn't in a repeatable group, we can click the parents group home. So whatever home that represents this cell. And we click photos. So this parent group's home, a home property, has a list of photos. So we don't want the entire list of photos. We just want one photo. So we'll just take the first item. And let's center the image, add some styling. Let's make the image, make sure it spans the entire width of that particular card. And that's all we need to do. Let's hit the preview button, see what we have. And that's our images. And we could tidy this up even more. Let's add some rounded edges because our edges are rounded on the corner. And it seems to be hiding our shadow on these cards, at least on the left side and the top. So to round the edges, we just need to go to define each border independently. Let's set the top left to 5 pixels rounded. Radius, top right, 5 pixels as well. So that'll round that out. And we need a little bit of spacing. It's hiding our little shadow we have. So let's click on the actual repeatable group and stretch it so we can reveal the rest of the card. Please. And let's preview. Cool. Now you see the shadow on the left. You see the edges rounded up top because the shape wasn't rounded that we added. Cool. And my properties lined up too for some reason. So yeah. Nonetheless, that's all we need to do. So now we want to add an add button. So let's go ahead with the tutorial, the actual video, and create an add button. So we want to create a new property and add that to our database. So in this part, we're going to add a button. And just call that create property. We can do add new property. Property. Color add. There we go. And so we're going to do several things that we taught in the previous videos. We're going to need to make a new page so we can have a page where we actually create the homes. And we're going to also need to use workflows to trigger that action. So we can go ahead here, get rid of this. So let's go ahead and create the home creation page. So we can go ahead up top, add new page, create home. We could clone this page. Go ahead and clone it. Go ahead and get rid of all of this. This page is going to be similar to the home detail page. What we want to have, instead of that giant image, we want a repeating group. And we want a place where you can upload multiple images. So we're just going to create a group here. And this is where we're going to be able to see just the list of images that the user decides to add. We could just show just a grid here. Let's do a horizontal scroller. So we want to give the user the ability to upload multiple images. And let's create a button. Let's add images. Alignment. Cool. So we need to add some input fields. So we're going to build a form. We want an input field for the address. Drag that down here. Give it a title. Add some text. How to label. Drag that down here. Give us a little bit more space. Cool. And we want to duplicate these fields. So copy and paste. We want this to say city. We don't need any placeholder. Same thing here. Copy and paste again. State. Change the input field. State. And we want one last one for zip code. Copy and paste that. Go. And we want some extra fields for the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms. Bedrooms. Copy and paste. Number of bathrooms. Squarespace. Square feet. And we can't forget the price. So price. Oh, put the price. Let's we'll leave it there. Let's move it to the other side. That's where we had it on our details page. Not perfect alignment, but that'll have to work. And what we want to do is add a button for to submit the form. Create new form. All right. So let's go ahead and preview this. And that's the overall layout, not align. So we can go ahead and align that. And what we want to do is group some of these elements. So let's go ahead and group this as an entire form. Highlight, right click, group elements, name it something. Let's call this create home form. Make it fixed width. Other width was, other page was 1080. That's horizontally center everything. Put it right on the edge. So we're just making sure this thing snaps to the grid. Nice and aligned. Go. Good. Oh, so we're just making sure everything is nice and aligned. Nothing too special here. At least making sure the labels align somewhat decent with the actual text, with the actual labels. Let's see what that does. Hopefully that worked. Preview. There we go. A lot better. And we can change just the height of some of these just a little bit. Go. Height. Change the height to 30 pixels. Label should be state. That's the slow part of building apps, is just all of these minor tweaks. Let's just go ahead and speed rush this. We get the point. 30. 30. 30. 30. Make sure it just snaps to the grid. There we go. Cool. Hit the preview, see what that does for us. Good enough. I centered everything. That was by accident, but nonetheless, we're good with this. So now that we have the layout, oh, I accidentally moved this down some. So there we go. So let's go ahead and horizontally center this. preview. So in this video, we'll just call this part 1 of creating items for the database. So, and we just made the layout of the home creation page. So in the next video, I'm going to actually show you how to set up the proper workflow to submit this item into the database. So stick around for the next video.